Let's talk about the zip function. The zip function is going to allow us to combine collections such as a list or a tuple to be held in one variable. What does that mean? Well, let me just do a quick review about dictionaries first, give you a little bit of a taste about what those were, and we'll continue with the zip function. So for example, a dictionary is a variable, my dictionary, that can hold a dictionary like this. We denote a dictionary with curly braces, but remember that curly braces could be for sets as well, so we need a little bit more than just a curly brace. So we can have a key and value. That's what we need, right? So a key would be a first name, and we could say Jordan, and we can have another key for last name, and that could be that could be Jordan. It's the other way around, right? So that's what we mean, or what I mean, about a dictionary. We could have a first name as a key, colon, value, last name as a key, colon, value, and that shows that we have two sets of data, first name and last name, that kind of are held within one collection, within one variable. So just to kind of show the difference, what would be the difference if we had something, we had something like this, and we could just highlight the difference in last name. So this would certainly work as well. Now, what would be the problem? Well, there's no specific problem, but we know that Michael Jordan belongs together. There shouldn't be this variable called Michael and then this other thing called last name, because the more things that we have to manage, the worse off we'll be. We know that, and not only that, but we may forget to tweak one variable and not the other, and that's gonna create issues. Like if we add one more, for example, thing, it'll introduce some errors, some bugs that we may not want, right? So that's the idea behind the dictionary, but let's talk about the zip function, which is something like this. And what I want to show you is that you can have, for example, you can have makes be a list of cars, like Honda makes, like Honda, right? Nissan, and let's just say Toyota, something like that. And you can have models be in a list of, let's say Accord, let's say Maxima, and let's say RAV4, something like that. And again, we know that Honda Accord should be together, Nissan Maxima should be together, and Toyota RAV4 should be together. So that's sort of the issue here, because in our code, imagine we have 200 lines of code, and we want to add yet one more make here. So imagine that you create one more make, and you forget to add one more model here that's corresponding to this make. Well, there we would have a bug, right? We would have a bug, unexpected behavior, because we made a mistake somehow of adding yet one more model. So how can we do this? How can we do this programmatically? How can we create a list or a variable that holds both the makes and the models? Well, drum roll, we have the zip function. So we can have something like cars equals zip makes and models, and that gives you exactly what you need, right? Just like that in Python. So what can you do? Let's loop through these. So for car in cars, go ahead and print car, and let's see if that is true. Well, it is true. We got Honda Accord in one tuple, Nissan Maxima in one tuple, Toyota RAV4 in one tuple. Now, one thing to note here is that if you did have another make here, Python will not blow up, but it will say, hey, look, I'm ignoring that last one because it doesn't match. What doesn't match? Well, the length of the first variable doesn't match the length of the second variable. So I'm going to ignore the last one because the other one didn't have it, right? The length did not match. So that's the big idea with zip. Anytime we could make content reside or live together that makes sense that they should be together, well, you should. And that's what this allows you to do. Now, one more thing. You could also unzip, right? So you can have zip and you can have unzip, and the idea would be that you could have original makes and original models, and you can say zip star cars. Now this won't work right now because, as we are going to see, this returns an iterator, and here we iterate through the iterator. That means that we exhaust our options, and so it won't find it. Let me run it and show you exactly what it's going to happen. It's going to say, hey, look, a value error, not enough values to unpack. But if I comment the for loop out, well, I don't iterate through the cars iterator, everything's going to work. And I should probably just print original makes and original models, and you'll see that this would work, and we get the original. Well, what I want to do is print them in separate lines so it's obvious, and we'll do that like that. We'll see that we have the original two lists or tuples. If you actually want them as lists, you know you can cast them as a list, right? You can cast them as a list and you can get something like that. But, you know, by default, it is going to do a tuple. But that's okay. We know how to do this. So it'll be just like that. So what's the big catch here is, well, the big idea is that you have to remember that this is an iterator, and if you already iterated through that collection, through that iterator, it's not going to allow you to do this. So, well, what if you say, well, I really wanted to print them, so this is not an option? Well, it's okay. Just create the iterator again, right? So if you want to make the iterator again, just say something like this, again, to initiate the iterator again, and that would work. I hope this makes sense.